I think it really helps to have watched my earlier video on installing Python and the error message handling that I did. So I will put a link to that video in the description area of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. This video is quite long. There's a lot of trial and error with AI on Gemini, trying to make some Python code do what it's supposed to do, which is to take some images, an image of a head, an image of a body, and put them together by calling what I call Nanobanana, which is a generative image model of Google Gemini. So a lot of the video is just me failing to get the code to run and asking AI to fix it. AI fails to fix it, but then I use the error message of the running the Python code and put that back into Gemini and just keep going until eventually it works. Um, there's a video you could watch before you watch this video. I made it today as well. It's where I installed Python on my computer and successfully called a text prompt to Gemini and got an answer back, which printed on the output window of the Python software that I've been using. So with that installation of video one successful, I was then in a good position to try to, instead of using text prompt, use text as well as image inputs of the head and the body. So in that multimodal prompting to try and get a single image back of a person's body with the head on the neck. This video follows on from a video that I did about installing Python and getting Gemini to print out a statement after an API call. So that was my way of getting the software installed and proving that I can make an API call. This video is about using an API call to actually send in a prompt that has images in it to output an image from Nanobanana. And I just want to clarify some points before going forward. The way I go into Gemini can be by using this URL here. I have a Google email account, so when I go to here, it knows who I am. But the other way of getting into it is if you're in your Google Mail, your Gmail, in the top right, there's an icon for seeing all the different Google apps that you can use, and one of them is Gemini. So that's another way to arrive at the web page. In my previous video, I was talking about some line involving this tilde character and trying to make my Python code look in a separate text file for the secret key that Gemini needs to know to privately go off and do the task that I've asked it to do. And in this video, instead of that, I'm going to be using this idea of the .env file. So that is kind of a text file anyway. It just has a weird file extension. And in that, I'm going to have this line, and then my actual Python code is going to mention this phrase here, Gemini underscore API underscore key. I mean, this text could be anything as long as the Python code also uses this text to identify the API key. I've written my API key here, but it will be something that looks more like something like that. but I'm not going to share it to you because apparently I have to keep it private. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that in this video, I start talking about how I need to pay money to be able to use the API call more than about once in a 24-hour period. If I want to be calling the Gemini API 100 times in one day, then I need to pay money to get that sort of service to access that resource. And what might confuse you is that I've already said in the previous video that I use Adobe Firefly to use Nanobanana, the image generative AI image generator. And you might be thinking, well, why is he going to pay for an extra subscription if he's already got Nanobanana? It's because I'm indirectly using it. I'm paying for a monthly Adobe package that includes my my video editor and various other things. Um, and as far as I know, it's Adobe who would be doing API calls, not me. So each time I type in my prompt in the Adobe web page, it's probably using something like Python to send that off with an Adobe API key that Gemini gave them to then come back with whatever image I want. Whereas what I want is to be the person who's got his own API key and is running his own Python code um, to get the image returned to him. I've got a full body person and a head, and I want to use AI to put the head on the body. And I'll get into the specifics in a second. Just want to show you that's the body there, that's the head there. Generated them quite recently, and they're from a whole load of outfits that I've got in a folder here, kind of superhero outfits, and I've got 600 heroes. I'm going to change for ones which aren't as photorealistic as I like, but most of them are good to go. Made all of those recently as well. And then I want an AI prompt in Nanobanana to do with putting the head image onto the um, body image, but to output a portrait outfit. So I just see the head and shoulders and body on a white background. I also want a very particular hairstyle to be added. So all my people have hardly any hair, or they're completely bald. And so in this case, I want the hair prompt to be person has a Mohican hairstyle with hex color. That's brown, basically. Can you build me a prompt to do that? And I say sometimes Nanobanana adds so much lighting effect that the hair color isn't the exact hue that I'm asking for, but I don't want that alteration. So that's what I'm basically using a prompt to ask Gemini to create a prompt for me. So paste in what I'm asking and press return within the Gemini AI. Ooh. Strictly maintain the specified text color. Okay, so I'm going to give that a go. To be honest with you, I know it says it's not going to alter the hex color that I've stated, but it's my experience that AI will say it's going to do one thing but it goes and does another. But anyway, I'm going to back up what it's given me here. And then instead of using Gemini, I've got loads of images I can um, create using my Firefly subscriber account. So I'm going to, rather than use up probably the limited use I get per day from the real Gemini, I'm going to indirectly use it here. And then image one has to be the head, and image two has to be the head to toe body. So I'll drag those in. Start with the head, drag in the body. So image two is the full body. Let's look at this prompt. Yeah, that makes sense. Portrait photograph, blah, blah, blah. So when I first started playing around with this, what I wanted was actually the full head to toe with the head on it and with hair, and it worked. But then when I zoomed in on the face of the person, it was such a small part of the final image that it had bad resolution. So what I think I need to do is create two images per superhero, one that's a portrait shot and one that's a bit more grainy, let's say, full head to toe shot. And obviously what I'm doing here is the portrait attempt. Let's generate that. So I click generate, and there should be a brown hair Mohican, unless I've made a mistake with my prompt. Isn't there a more recent Gemini I could have used? Yeah, I could have used Gemini 3. Probably should have used Gemini 3. My mistake. So that's Gemini 2.5 trying to do it, which is okay. Now let's try it with Gemini, the more recent model, which might add too much shade in my experience, but let's give it a go. And also, this person's the hair hasn't got a chance to grow high. So I'm going to add something here, output. It needs to be a margin of space around, around the person. I can't type anymore. Hmm. I wonder if my prompt is too long. Let's do it. Uh, um, put 2 meters back from the camera. See if I can use that to make the person use up less space in the image so that more hair can happen. So you can portrait Gemini 3 Nanobanana model. Font pasted in to generate. This might take longer to run. It's a better, well, supposedly better model. And the thing is, I don't want to be waiting around running this 600 times and then running it 600 times for the full body picture. And that's why I'm going to use a computer program to run the 600 prompts for me. I'm not sure that's a very good Mohican, but it's okay. And the body, yeah, it's not full body, so that's pretty good as well. The only thing is, the face is pale, but the body isn't. So I'd like to have another crack at this. Um, Using skin on face. Let's try this newer prompt. And I made a video already today. Oh, it's it's only gone as far as saying Mohica. So I wonder if there's a number of characters limit. I can trim this a bit. Must be hex. It's just basic English lessons from school, trying to make sentences shorter. That bit as well. But the problem with this is that I will have some very lengthy hairstyle descriptions. So I'm going to ask Gemini something. Let's go back into Gemini. Um, a prompt is too long to all be contained in the prompt text box. Is there a technique that allows my prompt to be longer? Hmm. Yeah, help me condense my prompt. The other thing is I could run 600 prompts just to put the bald head on the body, and then run another 600 prompts to put the hairstyle on the body. Seems like a lot of work, but it would work, and it doesn't bother me too much because I would just be running a computer program. It's not really my time being wasted. Hmm. Yeah, so I might do it like that. See what Firefly did most recently. Did I not run it? Hmm. I'll get rid of the summary operation line. Generate. Hmm. So if I wasn't asking for the hairstyle to be done, what would this prompt look like? Get rid of number 6 there. Don't need to mention the Mohican hairstyle there. Don't need step number 5. That looks right to me. Skin color there still doesn't look good. So I'm going to say I'm having trouble phrasing the prompt so that the skin color of the hands and body uses the skin color of the head image. Could you suggest a sentence? Ooh, cool. Copy that. Paste it in there. Right. All right. So let's just try this. So I don't expect any hair to be added when I use this newer prompt. Generate. But I do want the body to be a lighter skin color. To be similar to this skin color here. I also wonder if maybe there's too much body here. I would like to see more face details. So next time I run it, instead of 2 meters back, I'm going to try 1 meter back. From the camera. Unfortunately, I have to wait for the current prompt to finish. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm just not sure that it's really obeyed my instruction. Um, I'll give it an example. E.g., if the face is pale and the skin should be pale. E.g., if the skin is dark, or if the face skin is dark, then the body skin should be dark too. I think AI likes examples, so this might work, generate. So I spend the time trying to get the prompt how I like it, because there's no point running something 600 times. It's just going to come out with nonsense or something unusable. I mean, it's a shame to waste all that computer power. There we go, it's looking better. So let's download this image. I'll open it. It's pretty good, but let's look at the granularity of it. That is pretty good. It's actually very good. But if his hair was really high, it wouldn't fit very well in this frame. So I think, although 2 meters back seems excessive, I'm going to go for 1.5 meters back from the camera. run it. And what I'm thinking is I could frame this image from here down to the waist, and I wouldn't even need to use the lower part of the body when I present this in a sort of an image gallery. Yeah, I'm sure I could work with that. Let's download this one now. Still not happy because it's 1.5 meters back, but it's the gap above the head that I really wanted to improve upon. So instead of my 1.5 meters back, I'm going to go for 2.5 meters back from the camera. And I'm going to add another note. No, there needs to be half the head height of empty space above the head. 2/3. Let's try it like that. Wow, so 600 prompts to make the bald portraits, 600 prompts to add the hair, 600 prompts to use that portrait image that's got the hair and add it onto the full head to toe body. Yeah, so something's gone very wrong here. So I'm going to experiment. 1.25 meters back from the camera. There needs to be 30 centimeters of empty white space above the head. So that's my new prompt. So get rid of the existing one. Paste in the newer one. Save it. And then once this is good to go, I'll use Gemini to write me some Python code. Skin color's not right, but there is space above the head, which is good. What can I do about that? It's so obviously wrong. I mean, to be fair, sometimes my face goes tanned and my arms stay pasty white. So I guess you could have it that someone who wears balaclava a lot out in the sun could be pale with brown skin, but it's a bit unusual. Hmm, hmm. Okay, let's do another example. E.g., if there is light brown, okay, so a mistake would be if the head was pale, but the body skin, if the if the head skin was pale, but the body skin was light brown. As to say, the hue needs to be If you and then blended, so we'll see. Oops. I'll try generating that. It's probably a very boring video. It was so fun. I don't like doing these videos and clicking generate because you're just waiting ages and it's just not very good television to watch a thing just flashing there. Okay, that's a bit better. But I wonder what would happen if the head was different. So let's go for a different head. Maybe him. How about this chap? So from I'll be dragging this different head into the image one location. Clicking generate. So what I'm hoping for is a body skin color that matches that darker head skin. And if that works, then I'll feel comfortable moving on to the Python script. My previous video that I made today, I showed how I install Python and how I call Gemini with a simple text prompt. But this will be the more advanced piece of work, only marginally more advanced because the prompt is going to be 2 images plus the text. Right, let's download this and see how it looks. Is that enough granularity? Kind of, but I would prefer it if there was less. I mean, it really should only go as far as the waist. So, oops, launched the, didn't mean to do that, launched the prompt again. So where I'm saying it needs to be portrait, the image must show the head, shoulders and torso. Not below the waist. Trouble is I'm running out of words now. I'll get rid of a bust shot because they've already misunderstood what I want. Not below the waist. Below the waist. Yep. Okay, and I'll paste that in as my new prompt to experimentary. I also think 30 centimeters isn't. Well, let's see what happens when I use this new prompt. Generate. Because it might be that without the pelvic area, maybe the head will be sized better with more detail within the portrait image. No, I wonder how you phrase it. I mean, I lost your mind. So I want the head, my shoulders, and torso, but I don't want any of the body below the waist. to be in the portrait image. Is there a phrase different to portrait that makes that requirement obvious? Hmm. Oh, oh dear. Right. Hmm. Uh, Prompt I want to design. What am I doing wrong? Thinks I want to generate images now. Have I gone into some sort of photo mode? Uh, new chat. New chat. Um, okay, yeah, prompt to draw a head on a torso. You know what? I'm gonna make sure it understands that I just want to write something. What's going on? Ah, I see. Head down to mid chest, upper abdomen. Chest up shot, head down to the breast bone, sternum area. Bust shot. Well, bust shot hasn't been working for me so far. I'm going to go for medium close up. Or was it MCU? Generate MCU, medium close up. Mm, Maybe it's the distance I'm specifying in the prompt that's causing the problem. 80 centimeters, 50 centimeters. Get that going. Hmm, Excellent. Open it, zoom in, detail, skin tone matching. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so next need to ask Gemini to write me some Python code. Just close what it was doing there. Please write me some Python code that uses the Gemini SDK, Software Developers Kit, I think that means, to run following prompt. It doesn't have to be this full prompt, but it'd be nice if it all fits in. Okay, let's run that. Something I've never figured out is how to copy to clipboard a previous prompt. There's no obvious copy. Anyway, here's the output. Gen OI. I'm not sure if I've already installed that. My previous video talked about API key and how I set it up. So really, I might just need to copy to clipboard this code and but how's it going to find my image? My image would need, the path to my image would need to be put in here. Ooh. How do I copy this to clipboard? Hmm, don't know. Strange. I'll just highlight the whole thing and do Control C on my keyboard. Then close that down. That's probably, if I click open, it will show me that script again. Ah, so it's not going to be Gemini 3 that I was using in Firefly. It's going to be Gemini 2.5. Not sure if that's a showstopper for me. Well, that's the code it made for me. And I'll go into my Microsoft Visual Studio Code, paste it in. Save it as needs file paths subscribe because it's incomplete. I need to do some work on it because if I open up the script that they made for me, don't know quite what we mean about placeholder bytes. I don't know why those red crosses are there either. So the best thing to do is to say, what are the red crosses in that code? Okay. And I will paste in the folder and file, folder path and file name of image 1 and image 2. Can you then apply it to the code that you made? That makes sense. Since I am an AI, I cannot differentiate blah, blah, blah. Please give me from blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's pretend that this is the head I'm interested in. So I'm going to click copy as path. I right clicked and then copy as path. And don't worry about this, it's just some old notepad work. So I've got that as image 1, and then right click, copy as path, that as image 2, and I'll say image 1, image 2. And I'll paste that into Gemini. Is it just me? Where's this code you're saying you've written for me? Ah, maybe I have to scroll back up. That would be weird. See. Oh yeah, let's put it in. Clever. There's still red crosses in the code. Still not sure about that. But anyway, let's copy all of this to clipboard. Go into Microsoft Visual Studio Code, start a new file, new. Essentially, I did a shortcut on my keyboard. It's just file, new file, Python file. Paste that in. Save it as Nanobanana 1. Nanobanana 01 with an underscore instead of a space. I'm just wondering what would happen if I ran this now, because I've already told it in the background what the API key is. So presumably when it does the line of code relating to the API key, it would just grab it from some text file somewhere on my system. There's just so much going on here. I'm not sure. Not even sure where that line occurs. Maybe by word search API. Maybe it's that line there. Okay, well, I'm going to run it and see what happens. I wonder where my prompt is now. That massive prompt. Does it state it somewhere? There's a little bit of it here. Except it's talking about portrait style. Whereas I thought we got rid of the word portrait. It's actually changed things quite a bit. Upper torso shot. I don't remember saying that. I used that abbreviation MCU. Well, I'm going to run it and see if it runs at all. So I'll use this play button, the triangle. Gemini 1.5 Flash is not found for API version blah, blah, blah. It's not supported for generate content. Hmm. That reminds me of an error I had earlier. So I'm going to word search 1.5 for the model. Or Flash, maybe? Sending request Flash. Model equals Flash image preview. Yeah, so why is it upset? I'll copy this to clipboard and ask Gemini itself. I've got a running code. Could you tell me how to use it? Yesterday. No, I'm not going to uninstall because I think I've got a very modern installation. Mm, okay, I'll do what it says, but I'm not sure I've even. One, I'm not sure that is even installed in the first place, and two, it might be some way of phrasing pip with hyphen m, like in my previous video. This might not even run if I try it out. Um, how can I phrase your pip advice in a way that works on Windows with, was it dash n? Dash n, can't remember in the instruction. Can't remember now. I'll go back to my work from earlier today. Yeah, that was it. Uh, it's back at the prompt with a style similar to that. Hmm. I've no idea what that final bit of instruction means. But I should list all of this stuff in to my notes. Could be handy. So they're saying, first of all, I need to uninstall stuff at the bash terminal. And from my previous video, we know that the bash, I have to go to here where it says bash. I have to click it so that this terminal becomes a bash terminal. And then over here next to the dollar, I can type in the instruction to uninstall these two libraries. Ooh. Yeah, go ahead. I don't mind. Ah, so neither of these things were installed in the first place, apparently. So that would explain my difficulties. So I'll paste in the installation instruction. Um, Probably should have done that step instead, but live and learn. So now let's try running the code. Okay, a bit of a worry now. I think what I'll do is I'll save everything. I'll exit. I'll go back into Visual Studio Code. And I'll open up the file that I was playing with just then. Just open it. Try running it again. Vertex AI project and location organs. Oh, that's strange. Vertex AI project and location. Hmm. So once again, I'll copy. It's much easier, this error message, than whatever it was I was looking at a minute ago. I copy it to clipboard and go back into the Google Gemini and say, please use simple language to explain how to fix this error in the Python code listed in. Certainly. See, the weird thing is that earlier today, earlier today, I thought I'd kind of permanently set the I thought I'd permanently set in a text file the API key information. Um, did a whole video about it. Let's keep scrolling down. I never took proper notes, so I'm asking Grok that I was using earlier. What was the nano code with character tilde that you gave me earlier? See if it remembers. Uh, yeah, yeah, it was like that. Yeah, it was a nano bash RC instruction to long-term store my API key. I am puzzled because I am writing a new Python script and it has no knowledge of my API key, even though I did the bash RC instruction earlier today. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna copy that to clipboard because I didn't do it earlier. Second, I didn't restart the terminal. Source file. You should see your key printed. Well, I don't want you watching this video to see my API key. Um, oh, here's another explanation. You're running the Python script. Let me just paste what it was telling me. The other advice, I'm using VS Code, which presumably is Microsoft Visual Studio Code. But usually do not load that at all. Solutions use a .env file instead of bash rc. Create a file called .env in your project folder. What do I mean by project folder? Do I mean the same folder that's got my .py file? Probably. Okay. Just and is the folder just the folder where my .py file is kept? Yeah, cool. And um, can you rephrase the pick instruction for my Windows machine to use? Let's say -n should be enough. I'll paste that in as well. Try to get super grok. Oh, sounds like I have to use my own brain. That's not fair. No one told me I had to use my own brain. Let's find an example of using -n. Right. That's an awful lot going on there. Um, oh, what am I going to do? So this is a folder that's got my PY files in. So this is the folder that needs the new environment file that it was talking about. Create a file called .env in your project folder. .env. And then in the code, from .NET and .env, call this .env, loads for .env file. Very weird. It really is just called .env, apparently. I don't understand that. How can you have a file called .env? Files have something on the left of the full stop. Let's see. Can I do that? New text document. Actually, before I do that, view show file name extensions. Okay. New text document .env. Hmm. Open with Notepad. Slides. This is all very new for me. So I'll be putting my special secret key just here. I don't know why it's mentioning Grok there, because no, I just need this bit of code, maybe. But why would I want OpenAI? That doesn't make any sense either. Um, Let me go back to my notes. Not that bit of my notes. That's nonsense. It was export. I think it's going to be that because it's Google's Gen AI that we're interested in. Let's compare that with, yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. Then my Python script needs something a bit like this. So let's go to the start of it. But instead of saying OpenAI, we're going to say that maybe, because it's Google. So I'm going to actually put my real API key into this file after I stop the video, and then I'll see if this runs. But I do remember that as well as putting this code in, it also said to run pip install, and that's what made me rewrite it in a style that I think my computer prefers. So I think I would do that at the bash window, not the Python window, but the bash window at this next to this dollar sign, paste it in, run it. And then knowing that this is saved, I'm going to exit the application and restart it because that might be important to do. And it's reopened my program. It knows about the .env. It knows to get my Google key and then get rid of that comment. It's a bit confusing. So further down the code, there's a line to do with client. And that's what learns what my API key is from the .env file that I made a couple of minutes ago in the same folder as this .py file. Let's run it. Missing key inputs argument. So my experience is it's good to start a new chat window in Gemini, new chat, so it doesn't respond to my prompt based on previous conversations about Nanobanana image generation. I'm going to say, I have some Python code to run Nanobanana on Gemini. It receives an error message. I will paste the error message here. Please advise. Note, I can also paste Python codes in if you want me to. But here is the error message. Paste all that in. Maybe I should use this code. Because env means environment, right? So I should probably comment out the existing code to do with client. So in the try statement, just get rid of that. Ugh. You don't want to import OS from Google import Gen AI because or maybe we do, but not to state it here, to state it over here. It's a bit weird. I'm not sure if I'm helping or hindering. What could possibly go wrong? And then whatever I did before, whatever lines I've done before about this bit, I'll comment that out. Okay, because I stop getting, because I've now got this instead. Run. Doesn't like that either. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take all of this code, all of this mess I've made. I'll say, when you ask me to, I will paste in my broken code. Please output fixed code. Please note that my project folder has a .env file that assigns the API key. Please paste your broken code. Here you go. And I can copy that to clipboard. I can come back to here, delete everything, paste this new code in, save it. Then I'm going to exit everything so that when I reopen, there'll be less mess everywhere. And then I'm going to try running it again. It seemed to be doing something at the bottom of the screen. That seems to be finished now. Problems, no problems. Okay, I'm going to click run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording because I don't want you to see my API key, but I'm going to paste into Gemini my API key env environment file and ask it what is wrong with it that's causing this error message. Because I can attach a file to a prompt, I've attached my .env file, and then I say the attached .env file leads to this error. Can you suggest the fix, please? Okay, so what it's told me is that the env file talks about Google Gemini API key as a variable, but my Python code talks about Gemini API key. So they don't match. So what it's told me to do is to replace the bit of my env file, this bit, with that bit of text. So I've done that. I've saved the environment file. And just to make sure, I'm going to exit Microsoft Visual Studio Code and go back in. Just try and keep things simple where I can. And run the program again. Just let it do its thing at the bottom left. Okay, now let's run it. System instruction. Oh, that's a shame. Really thought I might be getting somewhere that time. Trying to copy that to clipboard. Uh, it's back at Gemini. Uh, I am running some Python code to run Gemini Nanobanana, but I get an error. Paste it in. Um, oh, crikey. So what I should do, I think, is attach the code that I used, which is this one, I think. Um, I'll, I'll attach the code that produced the error. Could you rewrite it with the fix, please? Hmm. Hmm. So let's copy all of this. Hmm. System instruction equals blah, blah, blah. Well, look, if they're saying that's a fix, let's copy it. Let's overwrite everything that's here, save it. And I'm just going to click run. There's a nice way to clear this terminal. Hmm. I don't know. Click run. Hmm. Hmm. So it says Gemini, but now I get a different error. I, tr I tried your recommended code, but now I get a new error, colon, pasting the new error. Please check your API key, model accessing input. So I'm wondering if I have to pay for the service to be able to run this, because the code is probably right by now. Oh, Gen is for text-based generation. I'm trying to do image generation, multimodal. I'm typing in text, but I'm also attaching images. Mm. Use the dedicated image tool. Yeah, I get that. The fixed code uses the correct API, blah, blah. If you have access to the Nanobanana model, you would replace that thing with that specific model name. Banana. Hmm. I don't understand that bit. I'll paste in the new code and I'll save it, but I don't understand why they're saying if I have access to the Nanobanana model, I would replace that. because Imogen isn't Nanobanana. I don't want to use Imogen. I want to use Nanobanana, which is right then. I do have the ability to use Nanobanana. So what would I say instead of Imogen, which is like that'd be like using Sora from OpenAI or Firefly image model. It's basically it's not Google's Gemini. It's completely different image generator. Hmm. I should really like to try that. So I will search my code for where it says Imogen, apparently. Oh, it says it in loads of places. Uh, so I'll make a comment. I don't want that. I want banana. Let's try running that. Uh, oh no. Maybe I don't have access to Nana Banana. So let's try this thing instead. Save and run. Hmm. Hmm. In both cases, I'm not really getting anywhere. So I'll put back my preference Nana Banana and I'll copy to clipboard. Well, I'll run it again, copy to clipboard the error message. And, and that I get this error message. No. Oh my goodness. This is so complicated. So I'm going to copy this and I don't know about overwriting this. I think I'm going to create a new file. And, modern to clear everything, paste in the new code, look for where it says Imogen, or look for where it says Nana Banana. Yeah, just says it there. Model equals Nana Banana, blah, blah, blah. Save it, run it. Aspect ratio. Then what I'll do is I'll exit because I'm not sure where one error message ends and the next error message begins. Wait for it to do whatever it does at the bottom left. Run the code. Copy, paste into here. I now get error. This is a common problem that people have. See, how am I meant to know this? I just feel like I just feel like I know that really good programmers spend ages looking at manuals and they work all this stuff out. At least in the old days they did. And then in more recent times you could Google Stack Overflow or whatever and get advice on how to solve something like this. But it just seems like you've really got to be constantly reading newly updated manuals to be able to sort of stay ahead with it. Um, anyway, copy the codes to clipboard, paste in the code, click save, run it. Yeah. So I say to Gemini again, I now get their hmm, hmm, okay, let's go minimalist. Why not? I have to trust it because I couldn't write this code myself. An unexpected error occurred. Uh, mhm. But now I get error message. Okay, copy what it gives me, paste it in, run it, unexpected error. Blah, blah, blah. Just copy the whole thing. Hmm. I get error message. Oh, what's it saying? Okay, let's try that. No, that doesn't work either. Mm, no, mm. I can't even do anything here. Let's go to a new chat. Uh, um, why does this code not work? So error, attach, upload files. What did I call it? Modern. Send it in. Yeah, please provide a complete corrected script. Hmm. Seems to still be writing the code, so I'm not going to copy just yet. Now I will copy, paste it in, click save, run the code, unexpected error, aspect ratio. We've been there before. We've been there before. So I'm thinking, am I going to go in an infinite loop now? If I tell it this error, will it just give me code that has already failed as a fix? Um, okay, error. Hmm, copy, paste. Oh, would you like me to provide a complete script? Yeah, yes, I would. I thought you'd already given it to me, actually. Still generating it. Copy it, paste it, run it. Well, save it and then run it. Uh, yeah, I think this is a new error message, which is potentially a good thing. At least we're not going in a loop, I don't think. I now get error. Hmm, I'm not going to describe it. You have to receive the images, option 2. Option two's new code. Let's use that. Save. Um, oh, It's not found. Call list models. Ooh. But that's progress. I mean, at least it's got this far enough to know that Nanobanana isn't a model that it's happy for me to use. On my free plan. 2.5 flash image. Aha, let's try that. Although, bear in mind, I want version 3 Nanobanana, ideally. 2.5 might be good enough because I've already used Gemini 3 to make my detailed face images. So maybe Gemini 2.5 is good enough to use that detail and just attach a head to a body. Delete this code, paste in this code, save it. I'm feeling lucky. No module named PIL. Right, I'm going to exit and open up again because I don't know where one error message ends and the next one begins. And I'm going to close this earlier code in case I get confused and paste the wrong thing in, which I could have already done for all I know. In fact, I'm going to delete this and grab that. Oh, and there's something at the bottom about pillow. You may need to install it if you haven't already. Pip install pillow. So that's luck. I mean, sometimes it, there's a lot. Sometimes there's luck involved in solving a problem. Bit of skill. Someone who's better at this sort of thing would have read every line of what Gemini suggested, whereas I was a little bit more in a rush. I do know that the way to phrase it is probably like that in the bash environment. So over somewhere in this area here, I'll look for bash somewhere near the top. So bash next to the dollar, paste in Python m pip install Python -m pip install pillow. How am I going to remember all this, all these things I've installed? It's ridiculous. I don't think I'm going to remember. Put that in yellow. Well, I could do a stronger yellow than that. That one. And look for another Python M that I might have done today. Yeah, that one. It's just too many things to install. I think. So successfully installed pillow to run things. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Is that fair? Paste it in Gemini. What's wrong with my program? Oh, oh. So the good news is I've got to pay money. Well, it's good news for Google. It's not good news for me. Wait, reduce input size or check your billing setup. Right, I'm also gonna note, I'm gonna note everything from here down to here as well for my documentation. Um, I'll say good and highlight it so it's easy for me to find it in the future. I'm not sure it is that good really. Um, so I'm having trouble. Copy that. And then I'll copy the this is excellent. What a funny thing to say. This is excellent. Wait 30 seconds and try the script again. I really don't know what the quota on the free tier is. I'll try running it again and see what happens. Hmm, no. Do you have access? Charge super generous free tier limits. Um, what do I need to do to see if my free quota has been exceeded? Oh, I'm not very good at spelling exceeded. Go to Google AI Studio, look where my API keys are listed, view usage data. Hmm, don't like option two. Hmm, I'm interested in option one. And my notes from yesterday had a link to Google AI Studio. Um, Studio finds. Actually, it's this morning. Feels like it was yesterday. Well, I got the notes earlier this week and then I applied to them today. But yeah. Um, I'll stop recording in case it shows my API key. Okay, so I've gone into the AI Studio and in the usage and billing part of it, they've got two tabs of interest usage and rate limit. And we've got graphs, and these the dotted red line is to do with a limit. And with regard to rate limit, I'm below their limit. So I don't think that these metrics are what I've used up the limit on today. However, if I go to the usage one, there's a red, and red in graphs often means you've done something naughty. Um, and it's saying there, it's weird because there's no, I don't really know how to interpret that key, the 1, 0, and 0, because I'd have thought, is it saying that if I was to have made too many requests, then I would have reached for number 2, but then the 1 and the 1 add up to 2. So maybe I've somehow reached for number 2. That is really badly explained, I think. Especially since a lot of their customers are people like me who just want some plain English. You've messed up, pay some money, and we'll let you do some more. Uh, so I began a prompt in Google Gemini because it was saying that it thinks that my error message from earlier was about a limit of 0, but I don't know why it thinks that if the graph is telling me my limits are higher than 0. So a bit confused by that. So I'm asking it, could the issue be total API errors per day? That red line, the red spike I was just looking at. No. um, okay. How long do you think I should wait so that I can successfully try it again? Hmm. Quotes what have I done? Quotes will reset around 8 a.m. tomorrow. So I should really try again tomorrow or pay some money so that I can just do it anyway. Thing is, I don't want to pay money and then discover that money had nothing to do with the problem. It's just something that Gemini won't solve for me. So I'm tempted to just wait until tomorrow and try again. I was just wondering, when the image gets generated, where does it get saved to? I'm looking at the code and there's something about saving the image here to the output file name, which is editedportrait.jpg. Now, I think I would prefer to produce a PNG file because I can do things with transparency to a PNG file. So that's my first thought. Do I want it to be a JPEG? I think for now, yeah, let's just say it's a JPEG. Um, And the other thing I'm wondering about is if the output file name is edited portrait.jpg, which folder does it go to? So again, I'm going to go into the Gemini upload my code file. I used that plus button and then uploaded my code. And I'm saying, considering the line of code, blah, blah, blah. Oh, actually, I'll stick it sizzle quotes. Which folder on my laptop will the output file here? To the current working directory of the Python script. Current working directory is a folder from which you execute the script. So it's possibly the same folder that my Py file is in. I guess I'll find out tomorrow morning. So we're almost at 8 a.m. the following day. Just need to wait about an hour and a half to have a new permission to use a daily ration of Gemini API call using this Python code. And I'm thinking if it is successful, then I will subscribe directly to Gemini for a month, at least a month, so that I can make a program very similar to what I've shown you, but it will have an array or data frame or whatever of 100 rows, where each row states a head graphic and a body graphic. And then the program will loop through, pick up that information, make image one path and image two path use that information, call, do whatever this code's doing, calling Nanobanana, putting in a prompt that just uses image one and uses image two. So whatever I've said up here is head one, is image one and image two. That's what it's going to be using in the prompt, I expect. So the prompt doesn't need to change at all. It can run, say, 100 times, produce me 100 portrait images of heroes with the correct body on. Here you go, in the text prompt, it talks about image one and image two. And then from there, I'd go on to make a new Python program to do with a text prompt that receives those new graphics of portrait images of people, and it will add the hair and give that hair a hair color. And that will involve a program that changes this user prompt a little bit each time, so that the correct hairstyle, text prompt, and correct hair color is stated in that text prompt. So anyway, roll on 8 a.m. Hopefully this will work. I want to get a head start on making that looping through 100 records code. So just since I've got the concentration now early in the morning, I'm going to have a crack at it. I'm going to drag in the Python code that this video has been all about. So it's attached there into the prompt. And I'm going to say, this code sets two image variables so that the images are passed into Nanobanana via an API call. I want an array or similar, an array, let's say an array or similar, because they can't remember all the data types of Python, and it got a feeling data frame is going to be the right way of doing it. And I want an array or similar of 2 columns, the head, the body, and I'll just say 5 rows of data where for each value is a file name such as aa.png, and I want the code to make a string variable to pass that image file name into a line equivalent to that. And I want to be told its file name by using the value at column the body. Could you alter this program to loop through an array like that? That is to say, 5 rows of demo data. Being passed each time through the loop to the Gemini API call. Could the output file be file name be a text of column the output of the array? So that means that it's not a 2-column array anymore. It's a 3-column array. Three columns. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my prompt and just back it up here somewhere. And let's run the prompt. Bit of flattery, telling me how wonderful I am. And then here is the modified code. So look, it's made the demo data for me. And it's even got suggestion output files for me. It's really good. Not too sure how to scroll back. Oh well, I'll just copy it and create a new text file for it. It's made a function called load image bytes, so that will be presumably be called each time through the loop. A loop in some computer languages uses the word for. So I'm going to word search for, see if that's the way to do it. Here we go. Python uses for as well. So it's saying from here, we start looping through that array. It grabs the head file, the body file, learns what the output file name is. And then it tries to call Gemini, I guess. But how does it know what the prompt is? Probably relates to what's going on here. But how does it know what user prompt text is? It happens before the for loop, I think, because the prompt text could be completely making things up. Yeah, it doesn't need to be part of the for loop because it's just an unchanging prompt, and whatever image one is at the time and whatever image two is at the time is what it's going to process. So yeah, I'll give that a go when the time comes. What I will probably need to change is this time delay, because surely each time I call Gemini, it's going to take it a long time to generate the image. I mean, sometimes I'm waiting about 30 seconds, and this one is probably 1 second. So I would put in 45-second sleep delay. And this time is a library to do with time. So it's nothing I've written, it's just something Python knows how to use. Okay, so it's time to run the program. So let's recap. We've got the .env file with my API key in it. We've got the code, which I'll slowly scroll through. If you try this code in the distant future, maybe this model will no longer be live. You'd have to change that text for whatever the newer model is. Wherever you see Gemini 2.5 in this code, you'd have to go and replace it. There's a lot going on. That's a prompt which was looked at earlier. Although there do seem to be two areas that look like prompts in this code. When I get time, I might have a look at that. It's actually quite a big program. And that's the end. So when the program starts, it calls generate edited image, and then somehow the loop, my future loop, will be reached. Um, but at the moment, there is no loop. It's just this one time passing in of the two images. So click on the problems tab, no problems. Click on the terminal tab and clear terminal, run the code. Uh, there's a problem still. I suspect model access might be the problem because it was saying before that the code was really good. It used the word excellent. You exceeded your current quota. Please check your plan and billing details. So I think either maybe if I wait longer, I'll be able to run this, or maybe I do need to subscribe to um, a monthly plan on Gemini to be able to really test this. So I've just noticed something weird about the billing. There's one row per project. So if I did sign up, I wonder, not to this default one, I'd be wanting to sign up to the project that I made that has my API key in it, um, presumably. Okay, so I'm going to ask Gemini what's going on with billing projects, and how does, when I run my code doesn't mention a project. You see, my code does not directly mention a project. So I am confused how an API links to a project and to a billing query. As usual, I'll briefly keep the prompt around in case I want to reuse it. Okay, so my key does map to a particular project. Key is created within a project. Billing is linked to the project. And on the free plan, is it common to have problems running Nanobanana because of uh, limited allowance? It's very common for users of the free tier to run into limitations. Um, Low daily request limit. For Nanobanana, the free access is often limited to a small number of images, like 3 images per day, or is not available at all via the API without enabling billing. Haha. Okay, so I think I need to pay. So we're roughly in the middle of December 2025. And when I click the billing link along the same row as my project name, Um, it talks about how I'll get $300 in free credit. I don't know if it's one of these things where it's going to charge me at some point without me realizing. I don't know, but I do want to crack on and try out my prompt. And this brings me on to the button Start Free. So I'll click that. I'd assumed that they'd put me on the $20 per month plan, but it's more of a pay as you go. If I go over the free tier, which basically I will instantly, then they'll charge me per whatever use I make of the API calls. Pay as you go sounds all right, really, unless I use it so much that it would be cheaper for me to use a $20 per month um, way of doing things. Hmm. It's pretty good. If I get $300, I wonder, I wonder how much each call I make would cost. Um, so I'll say, hmm, if I send an API call that is multimodal, say two images and a text prompt, how much will it cost to make an output image? Uh, Gemini 2.5, yeah. Total cost, that's very small. So I'd need to call it 10 times to reach about 70 cents. So if I ran it 100 times, that's less than $10. So yeah, the $300 allowance is going to let me do a lot. So to Gemini, okay, I set up my billing account. What is the URL for reaching it easily in the future? Hmm, okay. Um, Sounds good to me. And then, should two projects use the same billing account? Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, it'd be a very complicated um, bank statement at the end of the month. Mm, great. Okay, so now that I've paid some money, or well, I haven't really because I get $300 for free if I use it. I'm going to clear the terminal. I'm going to go back to this triangle and run my program. Am I running my program? No way of telling, really. No, I don't think I'm running the program. Let's try again. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it did run. I just needed to scroll down the terminal. It says it's created an image called editedportrait.jpg, but wherever it's written it to, unless I have to refresh my Windows Explorer, I'll press F5 on my keyboard. No? Okay, I'll go hunting for it. While I'm running a search on my hard drive, I'm going to ask Gemini for help. Once you find that file that my Python code just output, um, there must be a default current working directory somewhere on my computer. How do I find it? That's a great question. Um, I think I already have import OS in the program. But what I'll do is I'll copy this. And then I'll ask Mnemonics, how do I early exit my Python comments? Sys exit. Cool. So what I'll do is I'll use some of what is suggested early on in my program. Then I want my program to just exit after that. So the new bit is sandwiched between here and here. And then it will exit early and not do any of this other stuff. Okay, let's run it. Sys is not defined. Maybe I do need to import OS as well. The whole of OS rather than just a bit of it on the program. Sys is not defined. Did you forget to import sys? Oh, maybe I just mean import sys. I'll make a comment. That's defined working directory. Run it. C uses MyCase. Okay, problem solved. It's told me where I'll find the file. Yeah. So this is the image that was output to my hard drive. Problem is, it's not the portrait image anymore. So I'm going to have to analyze and figure out how to make it portrait again. Before I try and fix it, I have to remember that the next time I run the program, it will fail because my MS Paint app is using the image, or at least it might fail. It depends on whether Paint is using a copy of the image or the image itself. But just to play it safe, I'm going to exit out of my Paint package. what else am I going to do? I'm going to make a backup of my Python code, this thing, because it's such a good copy now. I don't want to lose that fallback position. And then in Gemini, I've attached my existing program, this Py file. And I said this code is meant to output a portrait MCU image, but there's a problem. Can you fix the prompt? But let there be white space above the head. I need to see the full output program. Copy and go to the program, delete it, paste in, save, run. Sending request to Gemini. This error is from the last thing I ran. It's not relevant to what I'm doing now. And this looks like it's taking a while to run, which is typical. If I was doing things normally, it would take a while to run. And that's saying it's made the file. So if I go to my S directory, this file was made, this minute. Open it up. This is very bad. It's not a superhero costume. And it's too close in. There's not much space above the head. Oh, good job I backed up the code. I'll say, no, that is not what I've asked for. You please not put the head onto the image to outfit. Could you minimally change the file that I uploaded? The main problem was that I wanted more of a portrait output, and I want plenty of space of head, and I want to see the full body, the full torso, without it being eclipsed by the frame, by the dimensions of the output image. It's quite a mouthful. See what happens. Seems to have fully generated the code, so copy it, replace this, come to here, clear the terminal, run the code. Hopefully I closed the image before. Yeah, I appear to have done. Successfully created image, come to here, open the file. Oh, This could be a nightmare. I probably won't waste your time with this. I don't think I'm capable of writing a prompt that Python can send in to get me the portrait image I want. I've tried loads of things and it just keeps sending back a head to toe person. So it's not like when I use Firefly to use Nanobanana, something weird happens. So I've now decided let's just get the head to toe output, but high resolution. And then as a later step, I can crop it to get the portrait image that I really want, or will sometimes really want. Hmm, I don't believe a word of this, but extra high resolution, how do we do that? Hyper-specific quality modifiers. Hmm, okay, so we're going to undo. I recently removed the output summary because I thought maybe that was the problem. Hyper detailed. High resolution HR. It's already said photorealistic, I think. Cinematic quality. I'll just try that and see if that helps. Because if I start playing around with the lighting, that could be changing colours of outfits too much. I just feel like I wouldn't have much control. I just don't know much about lighting. So these prompts have been taking a while to run recently. Maybe the more prompts I send, maybe the more it queues up my requests because it thinks I'm being greedy, sending so many prompts to Nana Banana, and they're running for about 60 seconds, some of them. So if I do make a program that sends loads of prompts, I'd need a timer on it of maybe more than 60 seconds to reduce the chance of me trying to send a prompt while the previous one is still running. This is quite disappointing. I think I'll stop the video until it's generated it. Oh, here we go. Oh no. I went through the prompts and I got rid of bits that were talking about portraits and torso, and I'm saying head to toe now. Um, and what it produced didn't change the top into the superhero top. So I'm hoping to emphasize that that needs to happen. Uh, Critical output instruction. Um, Let's highlight the outfit of image two. And what worries me here is sometimes when I've directly edited the text, it's led to an error message with the word part in it. So I'm really hoping that this tiny change isn't going to trigger an error message. Oh, looking good. Let's see what it does. Yeah, okay. So the good thing here is that it is observing the outfit. Detail when I zoom in is nice. And really, well, I can live with this. I just wish it was less grainy when I zoom in. Uh, I might have to live with that. In the end, I've added some more lines to the prompt. Um, about subsurface scattering, film grain removed. Um, yeah, so I think this is the right direction to go in. I'll be adding hair at some point in the future, but now I could turn this program into one that loops through an array of instructions of heads and bodies to put on top of each other with maybe a minute pause between each call to Nanobanana. And going back to the theme of there being space for hair to be added, I'm going to ensure there's more space above the head. So I'll say let there be 50 centimeters of empty white space above the head. Okay, quite happy with that. I'm going to run the program. I'm going to back up the code because I'm quite pleased with where things have got to. I'm quite pleased. And then I'm going to scroll back up the prompts that I've been saving today and look for the one to do with turning it into a looping computer program. This prompt here. And then it appears to have made the image. Let's check that out. Zoom in a lot. Get up to where the head is. Pretty good. But is there enough space between the top of the head and the top of the image? I don't think there is. So there's probably something in my prompt that's causing that problem. Even though I'm talking about that 50 centimeter space. I'm not talking about space between the head and the top of the image. Uh, a lot. Generous. Um, Run that. Go to close that image. Go to the Gemini prompt. Put in this code sets two image variables so that images passed into Nanobanana via an API call, blah, 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 blah. So there'll be a head file, a body file, and when it's finished making the picture to output it to whatever I say the output is, I'll ask it to create an example with demo data of about 5 rows in the array. I need to upload a Python file for it to do that processing too. So let's just make sure that the current code is saved, and let's see if it actually does a good job of creating that spacing that I like. Not sure really. I guess if a person was wearing a hat, yeah, it would fit in there. Yeah, I can live with that, I think. But again, if I can do better, then I want to do better. So very generous. Run that. Save it. Make sure the image is closed. Yep. And when I do make my looping program, I want the pause in it to be about 60 seconds. So little space there at the top. There is another way to sort that out, and that is to make him be stood 50 centimeters back. So person plus the 50 centimeters back from that. Close this image quick. Let's try running it again. Didn't like that error message. And I wonder if just me typing that line has caused it. Seems to be the case. So I'll get rid of it. I'm sure there's 50 centimeters of empty white space above the head. Okay. 70 centimeters of empty white space above the head. Right. This video is probably becoming extremely boring now. And on the one hand, it's really successful. It's kind of doing what it's supposed to do. In another way, it's been a real failure because it hasn't made the portrait image that I wanted. But that might work out best for me in the end. No, this is ridiculous. And the person is 1 meter and just 1 meter back in the distance. I was quite successful with putting people back in the typo there, putting people back in the distance with prompts I've done this year. in different AI for creating images. Let's run it again. Let's say versus 1.5 meters back, about 2 meters back. Right. So maybe I should remove whatever I was saying about space above person. I didn't like what I said there. Person was a little distinct. Lots of white space above the head. The person was a little distant. Try that. Okay, undo whatever I've recently been doing. I think the 1 meter back was okay. I think that was the last time it ran successfully when I had the typo meter back. Okay, let's put the typo back in. He likes typos. The LLM likes typos. Okay, great. And yeah, that shouldn't have been open. Yeah, I'll live with that. Well, typically, I wouldn't be zooming in very much. Maybe be a hat. That would just about fit in the image. Okay, so this is the file I'm going to work with, I think. I'm going to back it up. I call it backup 6. It likes the typo. And then over at the prompt I was preparing, I will attach the file, run it, and this should make something very similar to what we saw earlier in the video. Yes, that's it. Looks a little different now. Copy all of that. Paste it into here. And I'm going to take a break now. But I guess my third video could be about me um, running this looping program. I was just going to put all of this video recording into a video to upload. And I was calling the video Python to run Google Gemini Nanobanana. And I thought that's a bit vague. Is it version 2.5 or version 3? And I thought, now that I've on this billing plan, maybe I'm allowed to use version 3. So again, I asked Gemini, um, now that I have a billing plan, can I use an API on Nanobanana 3 rather than 2.5? And it says I can. So I just need to change the model name in the code. And I need to remember to do that with the looping code as well and add a timer to it. But that's a problem for another time. So in the code that we've been looking at today, I'll word replace that and I'll word search 2.5. Don't seem to see it anywhere else. It could be just I'm not very good at word searching. But yeah, that seems to be sufficient. I'll run the program again, see if it's happy to call Model 3. And hope that the price doesn't suddenly change because I'm doing that. Um, does that affect the price of an API calling Nano? Yes. Oh, crikey. Okay, so there is quite a big difference there. It's quite a lot more expensive, but I still don't see me going through my $300 free allowance very quickly. It's taking its time, but then again, I think Model 3 does take longer to run. What I noticed with the Model 3 was it tended to add shadow to things, to so around the eyes of the heroes it was generating. So I was tending towards doing finishing touches with OpenAI Sora to lose all that shadow that was making faces less memorable, in my opinion. So let's see if it throws out something with more problems than the 2.5 model. Seems pretty much the same to me, but as it's claimed to be an improved model, I'll uh, I'll go with this. Is there still room for a hat? More or less. I'll make it work. I do wonder if the prompt became too big, and that's why that error about part was happening. I've just added a new line to what it needs to do. The blue part of the outfit needs to become the same color as the head mask. I'm going to try running that. Didn't like that at all for some reason. And if I just cut out my new line and run it, what happens? So this is something that I think would have worked earlier today. Because if it is length, I'm not saying it is, but if it is the length, then perhaps I could reduce the length of some other part of the prompt. to allow that instruction to fit in, or I could use that instruction when I run the batch of work that adds hair. Yeah, so that ran fine. And produce that. You know, the lightest blue part of the outfit is also colored as the head mask. I suppose I should back this up just because if it get messy. Um, right, so what could I get rid of? Um, get rid of that bit. Just say do not generate text or markdown. And then I could do this new long line. And then try and reduce the size of something else. Sure, the person is 2 meters back. It should work out that I mean in the distance. Let's try running that. The clue about using too many letters was that the typo was okay, but adding the space was a problem. I thought maybe I was on the border of how many characters a prompt can have. That ran okay. Let's look at whether it understood what I was saying about outfit color. Something's happened there. The lighter blue has become the color of the mask. Let's do another experiment. What if the head had been ax.png? ax.png. Make sure I've closed that picture down. And run the program again. So this time we'd expect the vest, which is the lighter blue part of the outfit, we would expect it to become a light pink color. Come on, this is the end of the video. Let's end on a high. Brilliant. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Very long video. I don't know if people watch videos this long, but it's probably very handy for someone trying to learn to use Python to generate images. I've also been thinking that when I was told that 1024 is the resolution of Nanobanana, that's when I was using Gemini 2.5 Flash. So I'm just asking, does 3 allow more resolution, more pixels? Um, so I said, how would I tell the 3 Pro model to use higher resolution than 1024? Um, 2 changes in the script are needed. Add a config object to the generate content call Oh, wow. Um, Let me upload my latest file and then you can make those changes to it. Thanks. Here, and I can drag in this one. It's also going to have an effect on the looping one, but let's start with this one. 4K resolution. Wow. I don't think I actually need 4K. Um, Actually, 2K would be sufficient. Let's try again. Hmm, copy that. Paste it in somewhere. Uh, so many windows open now. Uh, Paste it into here. Save program as 2K. 2K. Yet. And I'm actually doing another experiment. I'm passing in body A, which I think is a female body, which I just copied. Because I was thinking if the lighter blue is going to be replaced, will it understand the prompt for this outfit that has two shades of blue quite close together? So it's tested all out. If it's too difficult, I will redesign the outfit to have a more simple blue in it. That's running. What else can I do? Uh, oh, I could upload the other file. Nice. So, could you do that same 2K functionality change to this file also, please? And I shall attach the file that does the loop through about 5 records. Jump back into the code, finished. It's made a file over here. Let's check its resolution, 2048 by 2048. Oh no, that's really not quite. I mean, I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't anticipate it's seeing it, is believing it. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough for me. Why would I want 4K? Well, that's really good. Another afterthought, what if using 2K costs more than the 1K, 1024 pixel? And yeah, it claims it is more pricey, but as I scroll down, it seems to be the same value, no additional cost on 2K. However, if I had wanted 4K, that would have cost a fair bit more. If I was going to make hundreds of these images, I'd really notice it in how much money was spent. Hope you enjoyed the video. Ciao.